You want the right side? How do you want to do this? Okay. All right. Okay. No, you're coming. You stay up. You're gonna stay around here. Don't leave the bima.
Yeah.
Okay.
I meant up here.
Okay.
I'll hang out over here for people.
All right. Well, welcome everyone, and for those of you watching online, also welcome to you. Really thrilled you can all be here for our in-person services, and it's very exciting to be able to do this. So we're going to start off with our candle lighting, and I'm going to invite Stacy, our board president, to come up here and light those candles. I think it's on page 120 of our prayer books. If memory serves. Oh no.
I'm gonna bring my own next time.
Yeah, you should. You bring your own kind of little like grill lighter, you know what I mean?
I have one of those.
Yeah.
That might look tacky. Okay. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
I'm sorry. You're right. We could do better when it comes to matches. Yeah, you like use like your wrist, flick it. There you go.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, b'hadrat ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you, Stacy. So while we were online, the Mitra brothers agreed to help me out with services every Friday night, and that was really great. But I really want to give them a bit of a break. They've been amazing, and I want them some time off so we don't burn them out. But tonight, we're very honored to have Ross here to help us with the melodies. Now, Ross has more of a, what would you say, more traditional? So Ross takes a more traditional sort of understanding of the service. So before COVID, we had, what do we call it? Traditional Shabbat. And Ross would come in and sing us some more traditional melodies and new stuff. And so Ross is going to do that for us tonight. We'll probably make it a monthly thing as well. It's the second Friday of the month, this Friday, right? Maybe we'll just do every second Friday?
Fourth Friday,
Pre-COVID, yeah. COVID changes everything. Yeah. So I don't know yet how we'll do it. But you will hear Ross at least once a month. And furthermore, Ross is our cantoral soloist for the high holidays. So you'll definitely be hearing a lot of Ross during that, which I think we're all very thrilled for. All right, Ross, you want to come up here and let's get some things started. So we're going to be on page 128 of our prayer books for Hine Matov.
and I'll try to do some stuff that you know as well. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad, hine matov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad, hine matov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad.
Let's move over to page 131.
Yes. For Shir Ladonai. Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shir Ladonai Baruch Hu Shemo, Basru Miyom Liyom Yeshuato. Ifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel b'tzedek, yamim b'emunato.
We continue on 136.
Okay, Mizmor David. We had done this a little bit last year, as well as doing it on Shabbat, on Saturday during the Torah service. Mizmor David, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai kavod ba'oz, Havul Adonai kavod shemo, Ishtachavu Adonai b'chadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim el hachavim, Orim Adonai al mayim rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shomer arazim, Veshaber Adonai et arzei halvanon, Vayarkidim kamo hegel Levanon, Vesirion kamo ben remim, Kol Adonai chotzev lavotesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yechol el hayalot, vayechesof yaror uhechalo, kulom yerkavod, Adonai lamabul yashav, v'yeshev Adonai melech leholam, Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
And we continue on the next page on 138 with Lachadodi.
And we're going to be doing a very traditional melody, which the rabbi hates, but we're going to do it anyways, just because. And we're going to be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Please feel free to join in.
Oh, before you go.
Yes.
On verse 9, I invite everyone to stand up and face the entrance, AKA the Shabbat bride, and also we look straight in the eyes of people who are late, make them feel bad for it.
Lechadodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabelcha. Lechadodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabelcha. Shomer v'zocher b'dibur echad, Yishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, U'shmo echad, V'shemo tiferet v'litila, Lechadodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat yekabela, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor habracha, Merosh mikerem v'nusacha, Sof ma'aseh v'machshava techila, Lechadodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela, Hitoreri, Kiva orech kumi ori, Uri, shir daberi, Kevod Adonai alayich nitla, Lechadodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Mohi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'tzala, Elune Am Segula Boichala Lecha Adoni Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekavela.
Thank you, Ross.
Mhm.
And we continue now on page, what page?
146, 140,
140, page 140.
because we're here.
Oh, you may be seated.
Oh. So for this one, I'm going to be doing, several verses up front, and then I'm going to skip down to where it's indented to the Tzadik Katamar, and that is going to sound very different. I'll be doing a Janowski version of that. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lahadot l'Adonai, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, lahagid baboker chastecha, ve'emunatecha b'leilot, alai asor v'alai navel, alai higayon v'chinor. Tzadik katamar hifrach, eres bavanan yizkeh, sheklulim b'beit Adonai, b'chatrot Eloheinu yafrichu, odinun b'sheva, t'shanim v'rananim yiyu le'agid ki yashar Adonai tzuri v'lo havlatabo.
And we continue now with Shalom Aleichem on page 142.
And please join me. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moachem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzveichem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And we continue on 144 for the Chasi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach chilutei v'yamlit malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'chayir chol beit Yisrael, b'hagala, u'vizman kariv, v'yimeru amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah Mevorach, Le'olam Le'om Le'omaya, Yiparach, Yiparach, V'yishtabach, V'yipar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, V'yin hadar, v'yin halev, v'yin halal, Shemei Kudusha Barichu, Laila min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Dahamiran de'olma, V'imru, Amen.
We now continue with the Baruch on page 146. When you arrive there, I invite you to stand with us. You may be seated.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher bivarom ariv aravim mechachma poteach sha'arim u'gidvuna misheneh itim u'machlif et hazmanim u'mesadeh et hakochavim berishmerotehem barakia kiritzono Borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or Uma'avir yom u'mevi layla Uma'avdil ben yom u'vein layla Adonai tzvaot shemo El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Amari v'haravim. I don't know.
It's great.
Okay, 150, Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha, Amecha, Avtam, Chaveta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu, Otanu, Otanu limadita, Aholkein, Aholkein Adonai Eloheinu, V'shachveinu, Uvkumeinu, Nasiach mechukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, U'mitzvotecha me'olam va'ed. Kihem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negeh yomam v'layla. Kihem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negeh yomam v'layla. Yahavachal tasher mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael.
Continue now with the Shema on page 152.
If that sounded unfamiliar, it's because it's a High Holy Day melody, which we actually did last year and we'll do again, but with accompaniment and other things. Okay, Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'eleh Asher Anochi Mitzavacha Hayom Al Levavecha V'shinantam Levanecha V'dibarta Bam V'shiftecha B'veitecha U'lechtecha B'derech U'v'shachbecha U'kumecha U'kshartam Le'od Al Yadecha V'hayu L'totachot B'neinecha U'ktabtam Al Mezuzot Beitecha U'visharecha L'man tizkeru v'asitem kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. 158.
And we now continue with the Micha Mocha on 158.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, malchutecha ra'uvanecha, okei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, zeli anu ve'amaru, Adonai Yimloch le'olam, Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'nehemar kifar Adonai et Yaakov, u'galo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Husky Venue, page 160?
Yeah, why don't you read?
Oh, okay. I'll read the English and Husky Venue, top of 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai haporesh sukat shalom, aleinu v'akol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. We've been to the Shamru on page 162.
And we're going to do the standard one.
Oh, good.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We now continue with the Amidah, starting on page 164. When you arrive there, I invite you to stand with us.
I will be doing the first couple of pages aloud, and then we'll go silent and join you. I believe it's page 180. Stay shalom. Adonai sefata tifta u'yagid tehilatecha. Adonai sefata Ufi Yagi Tehillah Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu V'Imoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor VaHanorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot ve'imahot, u'mevii goel libnei b'neihem, l'man shemo b'yahava, melech ozer u'moshiach u'magin, baruch atah Adonai, magin atam v'tratzah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, לפני הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו. L'shenei afar, michamolcha v'al gevurot, u'midrom melech, melech me'it u'mevayet, u'matzmiach Yeshua, b'ne'eman atalach hayot hakol, baruch atah Adonai, mekayei
We'll continue silently and maybe seated whenever you like.
Ose shalom bimramav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Ose shalom bimramav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael. We continue on page 371 for the Mishabera.
Hold on, Ross.
Oh, you got stuff.
Can't skip my sermon.
Okay. Oh, I can't? Is that where it belongs, right
Yeah.
here?
I think it belongs
Why,
right here.
yes, it is. Okay, I'm gonna go sit down.
All right, y'all. So as we delve deeper into the book of Deuteronomy, we've been working on this theory that there are two agendas wrapped into one throughout this book. The narrative of this book is Moses offering his final bit of wisdom, which turns out to be like a lot of wisdom monologued at the Israelites for like the entire book of Deuteronomy. And the motivation for this book, however, may have been advanced by King Josiah 700 years later, who needed to update the Israelite law code in order to re-centralize worship practices at the temple. It's been fascinating to read the book of Deuteronomy while holding on to both these agendas. In this week's portion, Moses explains how Adonai wants the Israelites to form their government when they enter the land of Canaan. He starts with a judicial system and the role of public officials. In fact, Shoftim, which is the name of this week's portion, can be translated to as magistrates. And he says, you shall appoint magistrates and officials for your tribes, and Moses continues, in all the settlements and that your God Adonai is giving you, and they shall govern the people with due justice. We're going to see in a moment how this sentence is incredible within the context of both Moses and King Josiah's timelines. This portion is not necessarily the same as, say, like something of our Constitution, for example. But like our Constitution, the order of items can matter. I believe that all the amendments of our Constitution are indeed important. However, the amendment's priority is preferenced by their arrangement. So this document, Shoftim, is outlining a system of government, and the first thing Moses mentions is magistrates. Essentially, Moses says, you are to be a judicial people first before anything else. This is incredible. There is no mention of a king in this opening sentence of Shoftim. And this is a unique turn of events for King Josiah as well, who one would assume would want to outline his kingship first. Instead, if King Josiah did have a hand in writing this book, it looks as if King Josiah is highlighting the relevance and authority of a judicial system before his own role as king, which I find quite humbling. Then, this portion is home to that famous line where Moses tells the Israelites, justice, justice, you shall pursue, that you may thrive and occupy the land that Adonai is giving you. The Israelites are to design a government where justice is the founding value. I think that Western civilization has been obsessed with justice ever since. Moses isn't just talking to the Israelites, but to every single person who has read the verse 20 in chapter 16 of the book of Deuteronomy. When we hear this statement, justice, justice you shall pursue, we hear it for ourselves, and we hear it for our own country. I believe that the framers of our Constitution were motivated by this very biblical passage. Anyways, in the portion of Shoftim, we finally do get to a portion about kings. It turns out kings can do some useful things for a budding nation. Ironically, a need for a king is not necessitated by eternal strife. We have that all covered with all those magistrates that Moses once appointed. However, a king is needed to represent the Israelites' interest outside of Israel, because every other country, both during Moses and Josiah's times, are organized as monarchies. And we learn from King David, a king is also needed to wage war. So Shoftim does outline how a king is supposed to govern and be governed. Some highlights from this week's portion includes that kings should not own too many horses, should not be a foreigner, and kings should not have too many wives. But more importantly, however, Deuteronomy says this, that a king, and I'm quoting here, when he is seated on his royal throne, he shall have a copy of this Mishnah Torah, written for him by a Levitical priest, so that he may revere Adonai and every word of the Torah and these laws. If we look at this quote from King Josiah's perspective, it's an interesting update to the code. For example, we know that King Solomon did not follow many of the rules laid out here in Deuteronomy. He had a lot of horses and a lot of wives. And I wonder if Josiah is critiquing the behavior of the previous kings. Perhaps Josiah is trying to say that the Israelite kingship has lost its way. King Josiah, by using Moses as his mouthpiece, is addressing corruption within Israelite's monarchy by restricting his own office. So both Moses and King Josiah marginalize the role of king in their government in favor of a judicial system. And I believe that it's choices like these that make our Bible such a significant document for Western civilization. Moses was trying to move away from monarchies 3,000 years before it was considered cool. And I imagine our own framers of our government felt that was pretty neat. Anyways, thank you. That is my sermon. And now we're going to move on to the Mishabeach, the prayer for healing. I'm not sure where I put it. Well, normally I got a list of people of our community who are in need of healing. I seem to have misplaced it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring my hand across the room, and if you think of anyone, please say their names out loud or in your hearts when I do. Well, we're on page 371 of the Mishabeach, a prayer for healing.
Mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishabeach imotenu, mekor hamracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
All right, we now move to our mourner's cot. It's on page 590. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
586.
No, I messed up on your area. Elenu, on 586, Elenu. And when you arrived on 586, I invite you to stand with us.
I will be doing the bottom version, not the top one. And we'll be continuing a little bit after that.
Now 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. And the yard sets we're thinking about this week. Sorry. If anyone who you were thinking of this week, please feel free to say their names out loud or in your heart as my hand crosses the room. And the yard sets we're thinking about this week are Randall Fleischer, Charles Greenstein, Lila Leviton, and Judith Marks. Zikrunom Livracha, live memories before a blessing. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'elma divrach yote v'yamlik malchute, v'chayechon u'vyamechon u'chayedachol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mebarak le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yibromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitdaleh v'yitdalal shemei kudusha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechan lata ta'amiran be'elma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabbanim shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav. Ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen. You may be seated. Okay, announcements. So we have every Saturday morning at 10:30 in our Zoom room, we have our tech study. And then on Wednesdays at 8 a.m., we have our morning minion, which Ross also helps lead. And that's also on our Zoom room. Am I forgetting any kind of, those are two things. It's kind of a quiet week, huh? Anything else you think of? Great. Okay. Well, Ross, you got a closing melody for us?
Oh yeah, we'll just do Adon Alone on page 625.
625. Adon Alone.
625. Yeah, I figured we'd end with something everybody knows. I could schmaltz it up if you want. No.
There's gonna be a lot of schmaltzing during the high holidays. So.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra V'heit Nasa B'chetzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'acharei Kiflot HaKol L'vahado Yimloch Nora Behu Haya Behu Yahweh ואין שני, להמשיל או להחמירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי, וחי גואלי, וצורכם לי בעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, בידו אפקיד רוחי, בעת ישן ועירה, ויהי רוחי גביעתי, אדוני לי ולא יירא.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us here. And if you're online, thank you for joining us as well. We'll see you next week at 6 p.m. for our Shabbat services. You know, one thing I didn't say earlier is that while we are being masked during these services, we're not going to do or have oneg after Shabbat. It's just too hard to deal with it. But we'll hopefully, once COVID kind of dies down a bit, we'll be able to have oneg really soon. So our guidelines are changing consistently. So please keep an eye on our emails, and we'll keep you informed of how they're changing if they do. All right, well, take care anyways, and Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you next time.
Shabbat shalom.